Right, so CPI came out, soft CPI, so soft inflation numbers, which meant there was reduced chances of rate hikes coming this year, which just sent yields down and the dollar down. For me, the story has always been, not always, to be honest, it's always yields and the dollar, but the last couple of days it's been the dollar actually, which for me has trumped yields, even though yields remains the most important asset class, long term and since the bear market started. But the dollar went down, closed. I mean, I think we're closing now, but it's closing below that 100.8. Huge technical news for me. So we'll take a look at that. Commodities just soared higher. Silver, 4%. I thought it was possible, 3.5, maybe, but 4.15% or something today. Very strong stuff. Gold up very strong. It's not done. We closed a high of day. The dollar closed at low of day. So commodities, especially gold and silver, the monetary commodities, very strong. Dollar down, yields down. We're obviously going to take a look. Markets, okay, they went up because, everything goes up, risk on, let's say, but I didn't feel it with the markets. They were up 1%, but closed kind of at low of day, well off their highs, some of them just under resistance. We'll take a look literally in about 1 minute. And Bitcoin, not that impressive. It's a risky asset. You'd expect it to do well, but didn't. It's been a bit independent of everything. So not the best day for Bitcoin, I must admit. That, today was an excuse for it to test high 30,000, close above 31.5 thousand, but didn't do it. Okay, anyway, that's just a quick resume. Let's take a look straight away at the markets. You can see did not close at our highs. And look, the setup was there, you have a cup and handle, and then bam, everything's going up, but not really. I mean, still up almost 1%, so you can forgive it. There is resistance, in my opinion, around here, 450, nice round number. Also, the last high we got to around there. So for me, 450 is resistance, but today wasn't the best. Not really going to cover the downside. Really downside, I mean, first of all, support should be prior resistance, which is just where we are now, basically 444. If we go low, it'll be the last support here. Let's call it 437.5-ish. But I think, yeah, tomorrow will be important for the markets. If we start to go lower again, it's just going to be a very weak breakout. Nasdaq, look, that's what I mean. It's obviously I've said right the last 2 days or something, the S&P has been stronger than the Nasdaq. I think Nvidia's run out of steam. Okay, it was up today, I think three point something percent. It's now at 440, I think. So I'm underwater on my short, but everything's in order. But yeah, look, you didn't get your breakout. Even the S&P has a clearer breakout, even though the S&P was not up by as much. But you know what I mean? This wasn't some sort of clear close above this prior resistance here. So it's not the best, but still it's up over 1%. So not the worst either. Dow Jones, look at that. That's what I mean. Dow Jones, that's not the best breakout at all. I mean, it wasn't even up much. It's basically unchanged, closed near low of day. Look at that resistance there. And if today didn't do it, what's it going to take, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we go lower actually tomorrow with the Dow Jones. I mean, look, it did have 2 nice days, but still, compared to the other markets, very weak. The Russell, which is usually the weakest, going back the last couple of months, it's had a decent day. That's a decent breakout. But look, look at that close near low of day. Not the best, not the best, but a nice gap up. Maybe the Russell will just close its gap tomorrow, and the Dow Jones will follow and just sort of have a bit more of a retracement. And to be honest, it could have a red day. You could have the Nasdaq sort of closing this gap here, S&P closing the gap, or at least touching what would be support. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a red day tomorrow. So not very impressed by the markets, but up, right? Let's not pretend that they were down. Banking stocks, pretty similar to the Russell, you could say, right? It usually follows the Russell somewhat. So look at that, nice gap up. I still think that the descending will be major resistance if we even get there. That's what I said. I still don't know if we're going to get there. This 35 zone, maybe a little higher, don't know. Not that great as a breakout. That's the XLF, the KBE. Look at that, a bit like the Dow Jones, didn't even clear its horizontal resistance, closed near low of day, even though we're up almost 2%. KRE, we were up 2%, well off the resistance. So it was green, but it wasn't very impressive for me. So, and I remain a bear. I mean, just on fundamentals, I can't say technicals because it's not bearish technically, but it's just fundamentally very, very bearish. Technically, it's weak bullish, if I can summarize that like that. All right, interest rates, very, very impressive stuff. So obviously interest rates have just been going up in staircase non-stop. And today's week CPI, so people thought, okay, maybe they're going to pause. Maybe there's only one or I don't know, two rate hikes left for the year, maybe just one. I don't know actually what they predict. It's just the overall feeling was okay, less chance of rate hikes. So down it goes. Now the 1 year is basically hitting ascending support. So everything looks very, very bullish. Let's see. I think tomorrow we could actually go lower. 2 year though, look at this. For me, the support is pretty much 4.7. We're almost there. So let's see if we start to test support tomorrow on the 2 year. The 2 year is the one that the Fed follows. So, you could say that the Fed has earned the right to do a bit of a pause if we stay around here. So yeah, I think 4.7 should be support though, technically. And then who knows, we could start to move back up. For me, the bias is always on the upside, but maybe we're going to be stuck in a bit of a range here now until the next CPI report. So, but I still think, this sort of zone over here, you can see the support several times. For me, 4.7 should be support, maybe just below here. But probably not going to curl and test 5% as soon as I thought because of this report. 5 year, a little lower is possible. You can see we've hit sort of resistance was here, right? 4.05. And then bam, we broke out very strong. Now we're coming back down. We could go a little lower, test the lows back here. So just under 4. So roughly 4 should be support for the 5 year, 10 year. Look at that retesting the descending. Could we go lower? Of course, if everything else goes lower, it will follow and it will still be bullish unless it starts to close below 3.7, I'd say. So, these yields have room to run a bit lower and remain bullish. I think it will just take a bit of time to gather enough strength to make another charge up, especially after we've just had this CPI report. So yields, I'm just going to, obviously they were down today, but looking forward next couple of trading days, sideways down maybe. Okay, that's yields, which is normally the most important asset class, but I must admit the dollar has been more important, more interesting. Look at this, I've covered obviously the dollar for a while, so there goes the bounce, there's the breakout. This bounce here wasn't really that committed. I thought 102 would be a nice level. Here we go. It was a bit too soon and a bit too weak. And then we had 1 or 2 candles that were just weak when they shouldn't have been. That gave it away. We had this close, very weak close, continuation in today. I didn't think we would close below. I thought we'd go lower, obviously, if we had the dollar reacting negatively to the CPI report, which we did. I thought we'd go down and test this low, but I didn't think we'd close below 100.8. We've done that. Very bearish stuff. Do we get a bit of a reversal tomorrow? Doesn't matter. The trend is down now. This is really significant. And fundamentally, it's de-dollarization. I know everyone thinks the dollar is the best shirt, the cleanest shirt out of the dirty basket, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to go low. I think we'll have a pit stop at 100, a psychological number, mini support. But otherwise, yeah, I don't see much support until we get to, we could get to 99, but really just 98. It's just going to be 1 unit increments from now on. So let's get to 100, bounce a tiny bit, and then keep going down, and really just 99. And if we go lower than 98, 98 should be stronger support than 99. So 98 should be stronger support than 99. Yeah, so 98 I see as a decent area to bounce from. But the dollar just bearish stuff. So it's down 1%. That's quite a big move. Let's see. Maybe we just have a bit of a sideways and a move up tomorrow. Let's see if we close above 100.8. If we do have a bounce, I think 100.8 is very important. 101 would be better, but for me, it's kind of done. It's done. It didn't hold this range. It did it on news, on technicals, fundamentally, geopolitically. So I think you've got all the excuse to keep going lower, medium to long term. Very, very important stuff. So let's look at the commodities. Very eager to go to gold and silver, but I'll start off with copper. Look at that. Reacted like all the other metals should. So up, dollar down, copper up, plus the markets were up. So tends to like the markets being up too. Up we go. Next stop, 3.95, maybe 4. If we start to close above, 3.95, especially 4, we'll start to run to 4.2. So copper looks good. The ascending support held, aside this little blip here with the flush where the horizontal came in, but otherwise looking good. Natural gas, slight disappointment here. But again, natural gas doesn't care about what's going on in every other sector. It doesn't care about yields or the dollar or even markets. Just does its own thing. I didn't expect so much of a retracement, but it's not the end of the day. As long as it holds really 2.5, it should start to test 3 and squeeze. So not too worried, but still would have made a bigger difference if it was green today. It would have almost guaranteed an immediate pop, squeeze even above 2.9, but didn't happen yet. Hopefully tomorrow it's green. Oil, beautiful. Look at this. Ever since we broke out, ever since we really kept on holding this level and started to march up to this descending, especially the close, pretty much guaranteed 74. And then honestly, we're not just going to go to 74 and go back down again. It's proved that it's too strong. So this makes sense. The market's up, the dollar's down. Makes more sense. And we've always got the Saudis helping out down here anyway. Again, I'll reiterate what I've said. I think we're going to go to 80, even 82. So onwards we go. That looks great. Uranium, did not pay attention to uranium today. Look at that. Not the best. It was up, but you know what I mean? Look at that. Closed near low of day. So it's a bit like the market, isn't it? You'd expect uranium to do better. We had all the excuses today too. Commodities were up. Even the market was up. Sorry. I would have expected uranium to do better. So not the most encouraging move there. Or maybe I'm just used to the very strong moves elsewhere. Let's look at gold and silver. Look at this. I remember making a video pre-market and it was just popping its head, but I said, look, you're gonna have to wait for the CPI. But if you have a good CPI, up we go to basically 1960. And where do I think we go? We're gonna go between 1970 and 1980. So today, the day ended early. We would have carried on otherwise, closed near high of day. Dollar is near low of day. I'm not sure what to expect from the dollar tomorrow. Maybe a small reversal, but it's just not going to change the trajectory. We're going to go lower. And gold tomorrow, I don't know, we could just have a sideways day. But whether it's tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, doesn't matter. Gold's going to go now, I think, to 1970 or 1980. So we could have sideways, then 1970, 1980, then sideways, ready. Okay, go. Take out 2001. And then we stop off at 2050 and we'll see what happens, Let's not get too excited, but that's a clean breakout on technicals with news, with every other market doing its thing, which justifies it. So very, very pure in the breakout. Very nice to see. And, when gold's up more than 1%, that's a beautiful thing. That's a credible move. Silver, just perfect candle. It just opens below the descending, probably even better. You can see it was lining up. I mentioned this in my old videos. And look at this, it was outperforming gold. So, lots of suggestions of bullish price action across the sector. And it just squeezes up. It goes all the way up here. Maybe I identified the wrong level. Instead of 24, it was 24.2 or something. But doesn't matter. Zero difference. Closed at a high of day. And, next stop is 24.5. Silver works in 50-cent increments. If you're not sure, just work on 50-cent increments. And yeah, 24.5 should equate to gold at 1980. Although I have a feeling if gold gets to 1970, silver will be at 24.5. 4.5%. I think I mentioned 3%. I think I was doing that kind of calculation, 3-4%. But look, 4.5%, very strong stuff. It's good to see silver do one of those days. It's been a while, right? It's been a while. Probably this day is the last day. But yeah, up we go to 24.5. Don't know if tomorrow we'll just retrace a little bit. If the dollar tries to rally and close above 101, for example, But again, it doesn't matter. The trajectory is, for me, even short, medium, and long term, it's going to go up. But nothing goes up in a straight line, even on such beautiful news. It's just going to be sideways, up, sideways, and then we'll see. We'll see if silver can, how long it takes, not if, but when, how long it takes for silver to sort of muster enough strength to go test 26. And this time, I'll tell you what, if we take out 26, I think we're going to go higher. I don't think we come all the way over here to just flush back down again. We could go sideways for a while, have a little handle to a cup or something, but then we're going to go higher. And gold, I think gold will do it. It will have its 2100. That's what it really needs. A close above 2080, obviously, but just why not 2100? Then you can say goodbye to all of the 1900s, probably forever. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Gold and silver, very strong stuff. The miners, just what you want to see. You don't want to see silver up 4% and the miners up 1.5%, 2%. You want to see them more. And we saw that. In fact, you could argue it should have been up even more. But look at that. It's just a bit like silver. Just open, gap up, just close near high of day. For me, resistance is in here. I'm looking at the GDX just above 32. We touched 32 today, so 32 is resistance. It's the same thing, between 32.2 and 32, there's like not even 1%, so same thing. Tomorrow, obviously depends. We could have a little counter move, but I think if we do have any green, it'll be straight away, resistance will be 32.2. But really what you want to do is reclaim and close above this 33 zone, because then you can start trading in this channel here. This is a bit of a no man's land, which is quite interesting. But I think, I think those are the levels. I haven't changed my levels in a long time because I think they're correct. I mean, look at this horizontal. We opened just above it. Perfect level, The descending, perfect. The resistance up here, perfect. 32, I understand. I don't think that's a level, but today it was. But I think 32.3-ish is more of a level. I'm not going to change anything. So the picture paints 1,000 words. I think it's pretty clear. Let's see what happens tomorrow. It depends on the dollar if it wants to try. But if the dollar keeps going down, gold and silver, they're going to go up to the next levels. And this is GDX's next level. GDXJ, exactly the same thing. Totally makes sense. It'll be 39. So you can see GDXJ just followed GDX. So why did GDXJ stop here? Well, because GDX stopped there. And why did GDX stop there? Because it was 32, and because of what gold and silver were doing, etc., etc. So let's see if we can close above this level, GDXJ 39. Maybe we can start trading in this channel. So things look very good. It's really the perfect breakout. Downside, no point really in covering it. We've had our downside move. We've had a perfect clean breakout, higher low, double bottom, out of the descending with news, etc. So let's just see how long it takes to start trading in the next channel. Beautiful stuff. Let's go to Bitcoin. When you look at all the commodities and even the markets being up, you don't really understand why Bitcoin's red today. It's flagging up here. Sometimes you think it's going to make a run, then all of a sudden it looks weak and you're looking for a close below 30,000. But even when it does that, it sort of holds on. It's just indecisive. And, but you know what? When you've got a day like today, CPI, you can say, look, Bitcoin isn't really an inflation hedge. It hasn't traded as an inflation hedge for a while. And today it didn't care. The markets were up, Nasdaq up. Maybe, you used to have Bitcoin trading with the Nasdaq. No, yields doesn't really care. It's hard to call Bitcoin because it's not really fundamentally, it's not really trading alongside any other markets. So I guess you're stuck with the technicals, and technically it's not bullish or bearish, to be honest. But the longer it doesn't break out of this, I think next time we close below 30,000 could be the sign for a flush back down to here. So the crypto miners also that have been going up non-stop despite Bitcoin sideways action, which is very interesting, they've stopped going up. They've started to top out. So maybe if they go lower, maybe that's what will send Bitcoin lower rather than a close below 30,000. So Bitcoin a little bit bearish there. Anyway, that'll do. It was very exciting. I'm very tired. Tomorrow will be very exciting too for some continuation, hopefully. And if there's no continuation, then it's an opportunity to maybe even load up because I think we're going to continue in this direction we've seen today. So markets, I'm not so sure. Markets weren't that strong, but commodities, commodity-based equities, especially gold and silver, look very nice. So it was a good day. Anyway, hope that was useful. Good luck tomorrow.